Hi there and welcome to the March edition of the Redden District Fisheries feedback video. Apologies for the delay in transmission, but Del was taking a well-earned holiday up in Scotland. He's now returned, having not bothered any salmon, so normal business. I'm being given rude signals from behind the camera, but there we go. We've got an awful lot to get through this month, some fantastic fish to share with you, and lots of news, lots of reports, and one or two announcements. So let's crack on. Right, Dale, well, this is a change of weather, isn't it?
Yeah, nice, isn't it? It's beautiful.
Lovely. So, fisheries report, what have you been up to?
Oh, blimey, dace. We've been doing lots of dace.
At the hatchery?
Yeah, at the hatchery. They're doing well. We haven't managed to kill too many, so that's always a bonus.
I got a picture of them swimming around, haven't we?
Yes. They and of course I went away and Jim looked after it for a week, 9 days, something like that, and he didn't kill any either. So we're doing all right.
That's the benchmark of success, is it?
Yeah, we don't kill anything.
Yeah. So, as I understand it, we move to roach next, yeah?
Yes, yeah, we'll be doing roach, hopefully collecting roach at the end of this month. They'll be in for a couple of days. We'll get the spawn out of those. They should be hatching round about mid-May. We're also collecting our chub and barbel broodstock at the end of this month as well. So this next month, 6 weeks, is going to be pretty busy, pretty full on.
And I think it's probably worth saying we've had fantastic support from our members. Thank you to everybody that's ticked the little box when you've renewed. We've raised an awful lot of extra cash, which we need. And of course, our partner clubs have all chipped in again.
Yeah. I mean, look, the response we were getting is absolutely fantastic. You know, who knew? Who knew?
That's right. Well, yeah, thank you very much. And obviously, we'll keep you informed, both when we hatch fish and, more importantly, when we return them to the river.
Yes, yeah. So, you know, July. We'll be looking at sometime in July, and it will be, hopefully, wholesale releases.
Well, the Angry Times seem to want to report our every move.
Yeah, they do.
So it's popular with them as well, isn't it?
Yeah. And I actually found out today that there's a few clubs up and down the country that are watching what we're doing quite closely. So, yeah, it's all good.
Why would they not? Cottage Lane, I understand the machines are in there. It looks like I don't know what at the moment, like a sort of First World War battlefield, isn't it?
It's sort of Armageddon. Look, you've got to be able to sort of look through the mess and destruction and visualise in your head how it's going to be. And if you can do that, it's looking good.
I think the plans, and I'm speaking personally here, not as president of the club, I just think the plans for a multi-purpose, multi-species silverfish fishery is the one thing we're missing, and I think what we're proposing could be incredibly popular.
Undoubtedly. I mean, you talk, just walking around the banks, talking to people, you know, particularly sort of people that have been on here, for instance, on Wilmots and Brownlee, you know, they've spent a bit of time on those. They're looking for that extra step. And that's what that's going to be.
Smashing. Now, on to the other big civil engineering project, as I like to call them, that you and Jim have got, is Wiley's. Now, there's been a lot of problem with water coming in.
Yes.
You've sort of got a solution to that. The ground's a bit drier now.
Yes. We've come up with a bit of a solution, and things are starting to dry out really nicely. I walked it yesterday afternoon, and I'm going to tentatively suggest we may be able to open up a couple of banks for this spring for a bit of tench fishing. I know I said that right from the off, that we would definitely do it, but then we come across all the problems and everything else, and I said, we're not going to do it. Well, I've changed my mind again. It's my prerogative. And I think we could probably open up a couple of banks.
Well, watch this space, and presumably, I mean, I've got a couple of pictures of you here installing the otter fence. Presumably that'll all be done now.
Yes, the otter fence is just about done, to be fair. We've got a couple of gates to go in, and like I say, we need to, because the floods have caused so much damage there, we need to just do a couple of small repairs, and I think we can open up a couple of banks, hopefully by the end of this month. And then it will be work in progress just to finish everything else off.
That'll be really popular with the members. We might need to limit numbers, but we'll see how we go,
Yeah, that's it.
That's great news. Moving on to the rivers, we've got a date in the diary to help the REE Club put the styles in. So from June the 16th, access to the River Blackwater
should be a little bit more improved.
Well, I heard stories of I think it was Kevin Hargreaves doing kind of wrestling rolls to get underneath the barbed wire. Yeah, not recommended.
Yeah. I mean, it's the sort of place where you'd like to be a fly on the wall watching. You know, I'm sure there's been a few ripped trousers and all sorts else.
Well, it is one hell of a fence.
Yeah, I mean, if you're an angler and you've never had a ripped pair of trousers by climbing barbed wire fences, you're not a proper angler.
Well,
but we're going to improve that.
Yeah, absolutely. And lastly, we had a firm's outing a couple of weeks ago. Very pleasant day it was. We went up to our wonderful stretch of the Thames at Northmoor, trimmed a few, I'll stick the pictures up now, trimmed a few swims out, put the sign back on the gate, and of course the car park did look like the Somme after the last few winters.
Yeah.
So the farmer was very nice. They're going to level the ground a bit for us, and we'll get some.
We'll get some hardcore in there. I mean, it probably won't happen before the season starts. It'll probably be towards the back end of sort of summer. It'll be somewhere decent to be parking over the winter.
Well, that'll be good. And for those members that haven't tried Northmoor, and I know it's a bit of a drive, but it is an absolutely beautiful venue. I personally would leave it until to late summer, autumn, when the kids have gone back from school, and then right the way through the winter, as long as there's not too much water. Really good venue, and hopefully we'll have much better parking.
Yeah, that's it. And again, it's one of these places where, you know, a bit like the Blackwater, you can sit there and you can't hear anything. Can't hear a motorway. You might hear the odd plane going into Brize Norton, but it is the odd plane. It's just nice, peaceful, somewhere to contemplate your navel.
And catching big fish.
Yeah.
Better Fishing Academy. Steve Reed has been doing a fabulous job. We've run 3 winter teachings in the hut over there on pike rigs, carp rigs with Gaz Fairham, and with Michael DeZeal and Lewis Reed on knots and shotting patterns. I think they were pretty popular. Really, it's up to the members as to whether they want us to do it again next year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, let us know via Facebook if you want to, you know, and if there's anything in particular that you want us to do. I mean, trying to sit here and try and second guess what people want is quite difficult. You know, we need a couple of steers. So if there's something you're struggling with and you think that, you know, you could do with a bit of a hand, and you know other people that are doing the same, let us know and we'll set it up for you.
Yeah, we're here to help people get the most out of their fishing. The programme of fishing clinics is out and about. It's on the website. Leaflets are in the shops. A lot of them are almost sold out already. We're trying to limit it to around about 12 people per session. If you do want to book into any of the sessions, whether the ones with vacancies like we've got for example specimen carp fishing at Cottage Lane, then email Steve Reed on the address that's given out. If there's one that's already oversubscribed, you can still email Steve and you can go on a waiting list, because we often get people drop out. So, incredibly successful programme. Looking forward to some of the feedback we got last year. It was fabulous. Yeah. As we said at the forum, there were people who came on one of those clinics and went straight out and caught their personal best fish. You know?
Yeah, I mean, they've been very, very successful. Yeah. So, they'll continue.
And the coaching programme, that's now up and running. All the dates again on the website, on the posters. So the RDAA coaching team have got a full programme for this year, and we're very, very grateful to them. And we look forward to having some pictures of happy youngsters.
Always nice to see.
Fabulous. So, moving on to some other reports, we had our Fisheries Forum, which was pretty well attended.
Yeah.
But for me, the highlight was, I mean, obviously our talks were fascinating, but it's not for us to say that.
Yeah.
But the highlights for me were Malcolm Morris and that talk from the Kennet Valley Specimen Group.
Yeah. I mean, it was a real blast from the past and a trip down memory lane. I'd love to say that I can't remember those times, but I can. So, but it was really good, really interesting. And, oh, wow. Those guys caught some fish.
They did catch some amazing fish. We've said it before, but congratulations again to Robin Foster for her lovely picture of, I think, her first pike as the fishing picture of the year. We had a lovely email from her father, didn't we? It absolutely made her up winning that award, didn't it?
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. You know, get the kids involved and everything else will follow.
And Grant Lewis with his tent, he was always going to win the fish of the year, wasn't he, with that one? And he was like a big keeper, and you gave it to him, really happy.
To be fair, he was. Yeah, he was over the moon.
And the final thing, really, just in your diaries, everybody, July the 5th, we've got a really good lineup for the open day. It'll be down here at Flint on Saturday, July the 5th. It'll be all the usual car boot sales and stalls and coaching and activities. Phil Spence from Angling Direct and Gary Newman and Jamie Cook from the Angling Trust. So, you know, three of some of the most significant people south of 50 years old in the world of angling. So we're very pleased, we're very lucky to have them. So we look forward to a good turnout for that. Fish of the Month competition. Well, let's roll a gallery and then you can tell us your decision.
You will, I will.
Well, Dale, that's a right mixed bag,
Yes.
and I apologise to everyone for having to wade through 19 pictures, but it's funny, I mean, you've got the Thames and the rivers were unfishable for a lot of the winter. Like the last couple of weeks, they came
Always
good.
the case.
And fantastic chub, as you predicted.
Yeah.
You weren't quite right. You did predict an 8, and I'll come on to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But some amazing chub. And then, of course, as it warmed up, we start getting some of the fish coming out of the still water. So I think the guys did really well. I mean, for me, the pick of some of these. I mean, Matthew Evans had a lovely 20-pound College Lane mirror. You said there's a bit of a backstory. To that,
I mean, he's been kicking around sort of Wilmot's ever since it opened, really, and I think it would be fair to say, and I don't think he'd be too upset if I said he struggled a little bit. And he's come on no end, and he's visited a couple of our sort of teachings and this, that, and the other, and proof's in the pudding, as they say.
Yeah, well, congratulations, Matthew. That was a fabulous fish. I think the other one we got to pull out there, beautiful carp that Tony Graham caught. I mean, he's got a knack for getting the big ones, hasn't he?
Yes, he's not doing too bad. I think that's a PB for him as well. So yeah, he was well chuffed. Well chuffed.
And I've got to mention Michael DeZeal. I mean, Michael's a sponsored Drennan match angler, but he's been, for better or for worse, he's been going out with Andy Dodd and learning the ropes on specimen chub fishing.
Yes,
and hasn't he caught some fish?
Yeah. Well, you know, look, I know we take the mickey out of Andy, and I think that's our prerogative.
Absolutely,
as a good mate. but he's the guy. If you want to know about specimen chub fishing on the Thames, Andy's the go-to guy, and you know, Mike's obviously taking a little bit of notice of what he's saying, and again.
So, well done, Mike. I mean, and Mike's not the only one. There are a whole load of these chub here are new personal bests. I mean, George Bassford's was a personal best. Tom Langridge was a personal best. Incredible chub right at the end of the season. So, yeah, I think the guys did well. But of course, we'll be saying goodbye to chub for a while because it's the pro season.
Yeah, I don't want to see any pictures of chub at the moment.
No, I bet you don't.
You'll be in trouble.
So anyway, what have you decided for your fishing picture of the month?
I mean, I could have picked loads, to be honest. Rob Walton, cracking as always. Jem Fox, cracking as always. But you know, how many times are you going to win these prizes, guys? Come on, they need a bit of competition. Come on, people. For me, Mike Ellis, the chub that he caught up at Cholsey.
Yeah.
Lovely photo. You know, it's got everything a photo should have. So, well done, Mike. Get in contact, and we'll make sure that a bait pack, courtesy of Bait Tech Rod Hutchinson, will be reserved for you.
Congratulations from me.
Oh,
as
and
well,
the
Mike.
hat, and it's a woolly one this year as well.
And congratulations from me as well, Mike. As I understand it, that 6.11 you had was your last chub of the season. You started the season, you tell me, with a 6.12. So you bookended your season with two incredible fish. So well done, mate. Right, my turn now. The March Fish of the Month. Well, I thought I was going to be giving the award to Craig Mitchell for his 1810 bream from Flint.
Yeah, but you snooze, you lose.
Well, quite. I walked round just after he called it and showed me the pictures, and but I'm afraid Craig hasn't submitted an application form. And, you know, we are handing out £50 tackle vouchers here, and you're in for a very, very good prize. So, quite frankly, the Fish of the Month was another chub, and it was Ashley Holmes. Didn't quite meet your prediction of an £8 Kennet chub,
it was
but
close.
£7.13.
Perhaps he should have stuffed a boilie in it, and then I would have been right.
Well, those of you that saw Ashley's story on Facebook will be impressed by the way he called it. He was missing bites on whatever pace, and then he went for a couple of hairy bits of worm.
Yep.
The rod went round, and it fooled the chub, and I think that was his personal best by a long, long way.
Yeah. Well, look, that's hell of a fish, particularly from the Kennet. That is hell of a fish.
Well, I've caught a lot of big chub, and that's 5 ounces bigger than my best.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I'm not going to tell you how much bigger it is than mine.
Congratulations, Ashley. Get in touch, and the prizes will be winging your way. Well, Jim. Interesting change in the weather patterns. What's your advice for fishing? I think I've got half a clue what it might be.
For starters, it's going to be Wilmots. Wilmots at the minute is fishing exceptionally well at the minute. The fish are now starting to come right into the edges. There's not a swim on Wilmots that you will not have fish pass past you in 10 minutes. Every swim in there is fish to be caught. See a lot of people sort of running around, or someone's caught a few in that corner. When he leaves, they're all running around there to get in there, but every swim on Wilmots is fishing really well at the minute. So the hut pellet is working really well. There's a lot of lads down here today. They've just been feeding real little and often, 5 or 6 pellets at a time, and they've been getting bite a chuck pretty much. So Wilmots is going to be a great place to be this next month.
And what about the bigger gravel bits? Because they're usually slow to warm up, aren't they?
Yeah. I think the pits, they're slowly starting to get there now. I was having a wander early morning the other week to see a couple of tench rolling, first couple I've seen, which is nice. I think a few of the cart boys have been getting a couple of tench. So for you tench guys, they're definitely starting to wake up. And I think with this warm weather we're having, this water temperature is going to keep increasing in these next coming weeks, and we're going to see these tench starting to really get on it and starting to feed.
Yeah, I'm certainly going to be getting my tench rods out in the next week or two. And what about the big carp? I mean, the carp guys keep it fairly tight to themselves, but you must have heard a few whispers of some of the whackers coming out.
Yeah, there's been some really nice fish. There's been fish to just shy of £60 being caught off our venues in the last couple of months. So the carp are really woken up at the minute, and there's not many times I walk around the pits and there's a few wet knocking mats left around on the pathways. So yeah, the carp are certainly waking up. I'm seeing a lot of them sort of cruising that foot below the surface, if you like. A few carp boys, as of the 31st of March, zig rigs are now banned on all gravel pits of ours, so let's not be catching anyone with them. I know it's very tempting when the carp are up in the water, but if you're caught using zig rigs, you will be banned. So
But that doesn't stop them using a controller or even a fly rod, does
yeah,
it?
that's it. Yeah, fly rods and controller floats, absolutely fine. But yeah, no zig rigs as of the 1st of March, and that runs until the 31st of October. So through the winter months is fine, while the weed's down and that, and people aren't fishing big trailers and that. It's just to keep on top of it with that, really.
I understand that. I was fascinated in the picture gallery of that really quite substantial bream that Rob Walton had out of Brownlee's pool.
Oh yeah.
I mean, those presumably are the bream that we stocked a few years ago, and they've really piled on the weight.
Yeah, probably just under 2 years ago, we stuck around 100 in there, and they were really sort of, at the time, they were probably £1.50 pounds. There might have been a couple that were about £3 or so, but yeah, they seem to really be coming on in there. I actually saw a couple the other day basking in the sun out there. Brownlee's the sort of place as well for an afternoon. If you sort of turn up at Wilmot's here and you think, oh, it's a little bit busy on there, have a pop down to Brownlee because there can be some great fishing to be had. The silvers are really starting to show on there now. So for the lads and dads that want to come down just to have a good afternoon's fishing and get a bag of fish, Brownlee's a good place to be.
Well, thanks for that, Jim, and we'll see how accurate you are next month.
Fingers crossed. I like to see some big tents, so get them coming.
Well, that's it for another month. What can we say? People did remarkably well in mixed weather conditions. We've now got these beautiful, beautiful weather pattern at the moment. The water's warming up, tents are out there. As Jim said, lots and lots of good fish starting to show. So have a great time, enjoy the fishing, and we'll see you next month.